Rahil stepped off the small shuttle and onto the rocky surface of Zarvan, feeling the chill of the wind against his skin. The sky above was a strange shade of green, streaked with clouds that shimmered faintly with violet light. He adjusted the strap of his tool pack, taking a deep breath. This was his first time on a frontier planet. He had worked on many human colonies before, but Zarvan was different. The floating cities above the jagged cliffs made the landscape feel alive. He had been sent to repair a critical defense system for the city of Varian, which had been damaged by previous skirmishes with the Krylon, a hostile alien race known for their sudden and aggressive attacks. As he walked toward the city gates, Rahil noticed figures moving across the floating platforms above. People of various shapes and colors were going about their daily lives. Most of them were aliens with pale metallic skin and large eyes that reflected the violet light of Zarvan's sky. Humans were rare here, and Rahil felt the weight of being one of the few. He kept his eyes focused, but he could not help noticing one figure in particular. A woman stood on a balcony high above the city, her silver eyes fixed on him as if she could see everything at once. Her presence was calm yet commanding. Rahil felt a strange mix of nervousness and curiosity. He made his way through the bustling streets and into the city's control center. The walls were lined with glowing panels, showing maps of the floating city and nearby Krylon activity. Soldiers and engineers moved with precision, coordinating repairs and patrols. A tall alien woman approached him. Her uniform was marked with symbols of high rank, and her presence demanded respect. "You must be Rahil," she said in a clear, calm voice. "I am Luma. I oversee the defense of Varian." "I have heard about your work on other colonies. I hope you are as capable as they say." Rahil gave a polite nod. "I will do my best, Commander Luma. I am ready to begin." Luma studied him for a moment. There was something about the human that intrigued her. His calm demeanor and the way he observed his surroundings without hesitation were unusual. Most humans she had met were either reckless or too cautious. Rahil seemed balanced, intelligent, and confident in his abilities. She decided to watch him closely. "Follow me," Luma said. She led him to a section of the city where the main defense system had been damaged. The walls were scorched, and some of the energy nodes were broken. Sparks flickered from exposed circuits. Rahil knelt beside the nodes, quickly assessing the situation. He touched the damaged panels and muttered under his breath, analyzing how the system had failed. "This is worse than I thought," he said finally. "But I can repair it. I will need some materials and time, but I believe I can restore full functionality before the next attack." Luma nodded. "You will have everything you need, but the Krylon are unpredictable. They may not wait for you to finish." Rahil looked up at her. "Then we prepare for the worst and hope for the best." Her silver eyes reflected a hint of surprise at his calmness. Most humans would have panicked at the thought of an imminent attack. Rahil seemed focused, almost unshakable. Luma realized that if anyone could help defend Varian, it was him. As Rahil worked, Luma stepped back to watch. He moved with careful precision, connecting circuits, adjusting energy flows, and stabilizing the damaged nodes. Within an hour, he had restored partial functionality, enough to give the city a fighting chance. Luma watched him handle tools that were unfamiliar to her, combining human ingenuity with alien technology seamlessly. She had seen many capable engineers, but none had her attention like Rahil. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the city. Red lights flashed across the panels. Luma's head snapped toward the main monitor. On the horizon, a swarm of Krylon ships appeared, their jagged shapes cutting through the green sky like shadows. "They are here," she said sharply. "Rahil, stay with me. We need every defense we can muster." Rahil quickly joined her at the central console. He analyzed the incoming ships, scanning for weaknesses. "The Krylon drones are fast, but they are not coordinated well. If we can create a barrier and redirect energy through the floating platforms, we can slow them down." Luma raised an eyebrow. "You think you can do that in time?" Rahil gave a small smile. "We have to try. There is no other choice." Together they moved quickly. Rahil began rerouting energy flows while Luma coordinated the city's soldiers. The floating platforms hummed with power as energy shields rose, forming a protective barrier around key areas of the city. Krylon drones swooped down, firing energy pulses. Sparks flew as the shields absorbed the attacks and the city trembled under the force. Rahil noticed a section of the barrier weakening. Without hesitation, he leapt onto a nearby platform and manually adjusted the energy nodes, restoring stability. Luma watched him in amazement. He was fearless, precise, and focused under pressure. Every move he made seemed instinctive yet calculated. The Krylon were powerful, but Rahil's quick thinking and adaptability turned the tide in Varian's favor. The drones began to retreat, damaged and disorganized. After the battle, the city quieted. Smoke rose from some sections, but the main defenses were intact. Rahil wiped sweat from his forehead and looked around at the floating city. Luma stepped beside him. Her silver eyes softened as she looked at him, no longer as a commander to an engineer, but as someone who had proven his courage and skill. "You saved many lives today," she said quietly. "I watched you. You were remarkable." Rahil shook his head modestly. "I just did what needed to be done. Anyone in my place would have tried the same." Luma smiled faintly. "Perhaps, but not everyone has the calm to think clearly when the sky is full of danger. You do. That is rare." Rahil felt a warmth at her words. He had never expected admiration from an alien commander, especially one as composed and respected as Luma. Yet there it was. He realized that this mission was more than just repairing machines. It was about earning trust and proving that humans could be more than outsiders. Luma turned her gaze toward the horizon, where the last Krylon ship disappeared into the distance. "The Krylon will come back," she said. "They always do. But today we survived because of your mind and courage." Rahil looked at her, noting the calm strength in her eyes. "Then we prepare for next time. We will be ready." For a moment they stood in silence, looking over the city. Rahil could see the floating platform stretching far into the cliffs, the energy shield still glowing faintly. The people below were starting to rebuild, their confidence restored by the defense they had witnessed. Rahil realized that his role on Zarvan was more important than he had imagined. He was not just repairing machines, he was helping to protect an entire community. Luma glanced at him once more, her expression unreadable but thoughtful. Rahil sensed something in her gaze, a mixture of curiosity, respect, and something he could not yet define. He was aware of being observed, but instead of feeling nervous, he felt a strange sense of connection. Perhaps this mission would change more than just the city. Perhaps it would change both of them. The sun of Zarvan began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain. Rahil packed up his tools and prepared for the next day. Luma turned to him, her voice soft but firm. "Rest tonight. Tomorrow we continue. There is much to do, and I believe your mind is as important as your hands. You may be human, Rahil, but today you proved that humans can be remarkable." Rahil nodded, feeling a sense of pride and determination. The floating city of Varian was far from safe, but with Luma by his side and his own skills at work, he felt ready to face whatever came next. As he looked up at her once more, he could see that she was watching him, not just as a commander watching a worker, but as someone who recognized potential, bravery, and heart. For Rahil, the journey on Zarvan had begun in fire and chaos, but it promised something far greater: trust, respect, and perhaps the beginning of a connection that neither human nor alien could have anticipated. The morning on Zarvan was quiet. The green sky was brighter now, and the violet clouds reflected the light of the twin suns. Rahil walked through the streets of Varian, carrying his toolkit. After yesterday's battle, the city was still buzzing with activity. Soldiers were repairing damaged defenses while civilians cleared debris and rebuilt their homes. Rahil's role was not over yet. He had promised Luma to help strengthen the city's defenses, and he intended to keep that promise. Luma met him at the entrance to the control center. She wore her uniform as always, silver armor reflecting the sunlight. Her eyes, calm and intelligent, studied Rahil for a moment. "We have much to do," she said. "The Krylon may return at any time. Your work yesterday saved lives, but it also showed us how vulnerable we are." Rahil nodded. "Then let us make sure we are ready. The city must be able to defend itself even if I am not here." Luma raised an eyebrow. "Do not underestimate your role, human. Your mind is as important as your hands." She gestured for him to follow her. They moved through the control center together, discussing the repairs and upgrades needed. Luma explained the city's defense system, how energy flowed through the floating platforms and the weak points that needed immediate attention. Rahil listened carefully, asking questions and making notes. He had experience with many systems on other planets, but this was different. The technology combined human engineering with alien energy manipulation, and it fascinated him. "You are very good at understanding our systems." Luma said after watching him for a while. Most humans struggle to adapt, but you seem to learn quickly. Rahil smiled faintly. I have always liked learning new things. Every system has a logic. Once you find it, you can make it work. Luma nodded, clearly impressed. There was a pause, and Rahil noticed that she was watching him closely. He felt a strange awareness, as if her eyes could see his thoughts. He quickly focused back on the panels before him, adjusting energy nodes and running tests. For the next few hours, they worked side by side. Rahil suggested a few modifications that would make the defenses more flexible. Luma considered each idea carefully, approving some and adjusting others. Together, they created a stronger system, one that combined human ingenuity with alien precision. As they finished, Luma called for a brief rest. They walked onto a balcony overlooking the floating city. Below, workers moved with purpose, and the sun reflected off the energy shields, making them shine like crystal. Rahil took a deep breath. It is beautiful here, he said. The city, the platforms. It is unlike anything I have seen. Luma nodded. It is my home. I have lived here all my life, protecting it. It is not easy, but it is worth it. She paused, studying him. And you are not like other humans. You think carefully, you act calmly, and you adapt quickly. I have seen many engineers, but few like you. Rahil looked at her, sensing admiration in her tone. I only do what I can. The city matters, and the people here matter. I want to help, that is all. For a moment, their eyes met. There was an unspoken understanding between them, a recognition of trust and shared purpose. Luma turned her gaze toward the horizon, hiding a faint smile. Rahil noticed it, but he did not comment. Something about her calm presence made him feel safe, as if no danger could touch him when she was near. The quiet did not last long. A warning siren sounded and the control center flashed red. Luma's expression became serious. Rahil, we have reports of Krylon scouts approaching the outer platforms. They are smaller ships, but fast and unpredictable. We cannot ignore them. Rahil followed her quickly. Where do we start? Luma pointed to a holographic map. Here. The scouts are moving along the northern edge. They may try to bypass our main defenses. If they reach the city, they could create chaos. Rahil examined the map. We can create a trap. If we reroute energy to the northern platforms and create a false weak point, we can lure them in and disable them quickly. Luma considered his suggestion. It is risky. If it fails, they could damage the city. Rahil nodded. I understand. But it is the fastest way to stop them. Luma studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Very well. Prepare the energy nodes. I will coordinate the defenders. Together, they moved through the city. Rahil climbed onto platforms, adjusting circuits and energy channels. Luma gave precise commands to the soldiers, positioning them to cover key areas. The air was tense, filled with anticipation. When the Krylon scouts arrived, they swooped down as expected, aiming for the weak points. Rahil activated the trap, and the scouts fell into it. Energy nets fired from the platforms, capturing and disabling the ships. Sparks flew as circuits overloaded and the drones fell from the sky. Luma watched with approval. Rahil's plan had worked perfectly. After the scouts were neutralized, the city quieted once more. Luma approached Rahil, her silver eyes thoughtful. You are clever, human. You learn quickly and you act without hesitation. I have never seen such skill combined with calm. Most humans would panic, Rahil shrugged. I do not think of it as bravery. I think of it as doing what must be done. Luma nodded slowly. Perhaps, but it is more than that. There is a quality in you, something that inspires trust. People follow you even without orders. You make them feel safe. Rahil felt a warmth in his chest. He was not used to such praise, especially from an alien commander. I only want to help, he said quietly. Luma's expression softened. She looked at him for a long moment as if considering something important. Rahil, I have seen many leaders, many warriors, many engineers. Few have impressed me as much as you. Your mind, your heart, your courage. They are rare. I do not know if I can say this yet, but I feel trust in you that I rarely feel with anyone. Rahil was quiet, unsure how to respond. He had felt a connection, but he had not expected Luma to express it so openly. He simply nodded. I will not let you down. The rest of the day passed with further repairs and training exercises. Rahil worked alongside the soldiers, showing them new techniques to stabilize platforms and improve defenses. Luma observed, occasionally stepping in to adjust strategy. They began to understand each other's thinking. Rahil learned to anticipate her commands, and Luma learned to trust his judgments. Together, they were more effective than either could be alone. As the sun of Zarvan began to set, painting the sky in shades of green and violet, Luma called for the end of the day. "You have done well, Rahil. Your work today has strengthened the city and saved lives. Rest tonight. Tomorrow we face new challenges, and I want you ready." Rahil packed his tools, feeling exhausted but satisfied. "Thank you, Commander. I will be ready." Before he left, Luma stepped beside him on the balcony once more. The city below was quiet now. Workers heading home, soldiers patrolling the platforms. She looked at him, her expression thoughtful. "Rahil, you are not like other humans. I find myself curious about you. Your mind, your courage, your calm. It is unusual. I do not know where this will lead, but I feel it is important that I watch you closely." Rahil met her gaze, sensing the weight in her words. He felt a strange sense of connection, a bond forming that went beyond duty or respect. "I will do my best," he said simply, not knowing how else to respond. Luma nodded. "That is all I ask. For now, rest. Tomorrow we continue." "And Rahil, thank you, not just for your work, but for showing me something I have not seen in a long time, a human who can inspire trust and courage in ways I did not think possible." Rahil watched her turn and walk away, her silver eyes reflecting the fading light. He felt a mixture of pride, curiosity, and something deeper he could not yet name. He knew that Zarvan was more than a mission. It was a place where humans and aliens could learn from each other, where courage and intelligence mattered above all else. And for the first time he wondered what it would mean to be more than just a visitor on this world. As night fell over Varian, Rahil looked at the floating platforms in the calm, shining city. He felt ready for whatever challenges awaited him. He had gained the trust of Luma, and had proven that humans could rise to the occasion, but more than that, he had begun to understand a new world, one full of danger, beauty, and unexpected connections. The journey on Zarvan had only just begun. The sky over Zarvan darkened as the twin suns dipped toward the horizon. Rahil stood on the edge of one of the floating platforms, his hands steady on the control panel. Energy from the city's core flowed through the conduits beneath him, humming with power. He checked the defenses one more time, ensuring that every node, every shield, and every energy channel was operating at full capacity. Luma approached, her silver eyes calm but alert. "The Krylin are gathering again," she said. "This will not be a simple scouting attack. They are coming in force. The northern approaches are their target, and they will try to overwhelm the city quickly." Rahil nodded. "Then we prepare. The city has strong shields, but we need to make them adaptive. If we can reroute energy and create unexpected barriers, we can slow them down and protect the civilians." Luma studied him for a long moment, a slight nod of approval in her expression. "Very well. I will follow your plan. But remember, human, you are not alone. We fight together." Rahil felt a strange comfort in her words. There was confidence and trust in her voice, and it gave him courage. Together they moved through the city, issuing instructions and checking critical points. Soldiers adjusted turrets. Civilians guided energy nodes into place, and Rahil climbed onto higher platforms to connect circuits that controlled the floating shields. The first wave of Krylin ships appeared on the horizon. They were larger than the scouts, sleek and jagged, their energy pulses cutting through the sky. Rahil quickly analyzed their formation. "They are using a wedge formation," he called out. "If we focus energy on the outer shields and create channels in the platforms, we can redirect their approach into controlled zones." Luma nodded, giving precise commands to the city's defenders. "All units follow Rahil's lead. Protect the civilians and control the platforms. Strike only when necessary. Do not waste energy." Rahil moved swiftly, connecting circuits and activating energy flows. Sparks flew as the shields responded, bending light and energy around the city. The Krylin ships approached rapidly, their weapons firing. Energy pulses hit the shields, causing ripples of force to shake the platforms, but the city held firm. Rahil adjusted nodes on the fly, rerouting energy to weak points before they could fail. From her command position, Luma watched Rahil with admiration. His mind worked faster than anyone she had seen. He anticipated attacks before they happened, corrected flaws in the system instantly, and kept calm under pressure. Her soldiers followed his strategies without hesitation, inspired by the confidence he displayed. A squadron of Krylon drones broke through the initial shields and moved toward a residential platform. Rahil spotted them and quickly calculated the energy redirection. Luma, the northern residential platforms. We can redirect energy through the east conduits and trap them in a loop. Activate the countercharge on my signal. Luma acted immediately, giving orders with precision. Units follow the humans' instructions. Trap the drones before they reach the civilians. Energy surged through the city's platforms, creating a barrier that the drones could not pass. They collided with the energy net, sparks flying as circuits overloaded and drones fell. Soldiers cheered, but Rahil's attention never wavered. He moved to the next weak point, adjusting circuits, rerouting energy, and coordinating the defenders. The Krylon ships regrouped and attacked from above. Rahil calculated their trajectory and energy output. "We need a diversion," he said to Luma. "If we create a temporary shield at the central platform and lure them in, we can focus fire on the group and disable them quickly." Luma gave a quick nod. "Do it." Rahil activated the diversion. Energy flares lit the central platform, drawing the Krylon ships into the trap. Turrets fired in perfect coordination, striking the enemy ships simultaneously. Explosions lit the sky as the ships were disabled, falling into the depths below. Rahil breathed deeply but did not relax. He knew the battle was not over. Suddenly, a larger Krylon ship appeared, unlike any he had seen before. It moved with speed and intelligence, avoiding the energy traps Rahil had set. Its energy pulses were stronger and more precise. Rahil studied it quickly. "Luma, the large ship, is intelligent. It is learning our defenses. We need to isolate it or it will destroy the shields." Luma's expression became serious. "Then we trap it together. We cannot let it reach the city." Rahil nodded and moved to the highest platform, adjusting the main energy conduit. He coordinated with Luma, who guided the defenders with careful commands. Soldiers moved to positions. Energy nodes were redirected, and the floating city became a network of precise energy flows. The large Krylon ship attacked, firing pulses that shook the platforms violently. Rahil adjusted the energy channels, redirecting the force into a containment zone. Luma gave her commands, moving her squad to intercept smaller ships while Rahil handled the larger threat. The city trembled under the strain, but Rahil's calculations were perfect. The energy flows caught the ship in a loop, holding it in place. Soldiers fired coordinated energy blasts and the ship was disabled, falling into the abyss. For a moment, silence fell over the city. Rahil stood on the platform, breathing heavily but steady. Luma approached, her silver eyes calm but filled with admiration. "You have done it," she said softly. "You have saved the city. I have seen many engineers and leaders, but never one like you. You think clearly, act decisively, and inspire others to follow. You are remarkable." Rahil shook his head modestly. "I only did what needed to be done. The city mattered, and so did the people here." Luma stepped closer, her gaze fixed on him. "No, Rahil, it is more than that. Most humans would panic. Most would make mistakes. You are different. You inspire trust, courage, and hope. I have watched many battles, but today I saw something I did not expect. A human standing firm, leading without command, protecting more than just machines. You protected lives." Rahil felt warmth in his chest at her words. He had never received such praise, especially from an alien of her rank and experience. He wanted to respond, but words seemed small compared to the weight of her admiration. The city below began to recover. Soldiers checked for damages, civilians repaired minor destructions, and energy shields stabilized. Rahil moved down to the control center where Luma followed. "You have my respect," she said quietly. "And something more. Today I realized that humans can be more than I believed. They can be clever, brave, and honorable. You proved it." Rahil glanced at her, noticing the softness in her expression. "I am only human," he said quietly. Luma smiled faintly, a rare expression for her. "Yes, but today your humanity was extraordinary. You fought not for power, not for glory, but for others. That is rare, even among my people." They stood in silence for a moment, watching the sun set behind the floating platforms. The sky was streaked with green and violet, reflecting the calm after the storm. Rahil felt a connection with Luma, a bond formed through shared purpose and mutual respect. It was a connection he had not expected, but one that felt natural. Luma turned to him, her voice softer now. "Rahil, I wish you were my husband." Rahil froze, surprised by her words. He had not expected such honesty. especially from a commander of her position. Her silver eyes were steady, sincere, and filled with something more than admiration, something deeper. He opened his mouth to respond, but no words came immediately. Instead, he felt a strange sense of clarity. He realized that his connection with Luma was not just about trust or duty. It was about admiration, understanding, and something that could grow into more. Luma watched him carefully, waiting for a response but not pressing. She had said what she felt. Now it was his choice to respond, not out of obligation but from his own heart. Rahil finally spoke, his voice steady. I do not know what the future holds, Commander, but I do know that I respect you, and I am honored that you trust me. Whatever comes next, I will do my best to stand by you. Luma nodded, a small smile forming. That is enough for now. Trust and respect are the foundation of everything. Feelings may grow later, but today you have my admiration, Rahil. That is all that matters for now. The two stood together, watching the city below. The platforms glowed faintly with energy, the people moving about with renewed hope. The Krylon threat was not gone, but the city had survived. Rahil had proven that humans were capable of extraordinary courage and ingenuity. Luma had realized that humans could inspire trust, hope, and admiration in ways she had never imagined. As night fell over Zarvan, Rahil prepared his equipment for repairs that would continue the next day. Luma returned to her command post, but her thoughts lingered on the human who had changed her perspective. For the first time in her life, she felt a mixture of respect, admiration, and something deeper for someone outside her species. Rahil, too, reflected on the events of the day. He had faced danger, saved lives, and discovered that humans could make a difference in ways even aliens did not expect. And in Luma, he saw not just a commander, but a partner in protecting the city, someone who valued courage, intelligence, and humanity above all else. The floating city of Varian rested under the glowing sky, alive with energy, hope, and the quiet promise of new beginnings. Rahil and Luma had survived the Turning Point battle together, and their connection, forged in the fire of conflict, was stronger than either could have anticipated. The morning light of Zarvan touched the floating city of Varian, casting long shadows across the platforms and highlighting the shimmer of the energy shields that had saved the city the night before. Rahil walked through the corridors of the control center, checking systems and making minor adjustments. The battle had been won, but the threat of the Krylon had not disappeared. Every decision mattered, and Rahil knew that the city's survival depended on constant vigilance and careful planning. Luma entered the control room, her expression calm but thoughtful. Her silver eyes were sharp as ever, scanning the holographic maps and data streams. "We must remain ready," she said. "The Krylon are clever. They will learn from their mistakes. This city cannot afford a moment of weakness." Rahil nodded. "I understand. The shields and platforms are strong now, but we can make them stronger. I want to create secondary energy flows that can respond automatically to attacks. That way the city can defend itself even if we are not immediately present." Luma studied him closely. "Your mind is extraordinary, Rahil. Most humans would take days to come up with such a plan, but you think of it in hours. It is remarkable." Rahil felt a small warmth at her words. "I only want to help. That is all." Luma walked closer to him, lowering her voice. "I know, but helping the city is not the only challenge you will face here. There are other pressures. Political pressures." Rahil looked at her curiously. "Political pressures?" Luma nodded. "I am expected to form alliances, sometimes through arranged partnerships. Many of my advisors believe a human cannot be trusted in these matters. They think of us first, not the city or its people. Your presence challenges that belief," Rahil frowned. "So they do not approve of my being here?" Luma shook her head. "Not entirely. They respect your skill, but they do not understand humans as we do. Your courage and intelligence may inspire admiration in me, but others may see it as a threat to tradition. You must be aware that not everyone will welcome you." Rahil took a deep breath. "Then I will earn their trust one step at a time. I am not here for glory or recognition. I am here to help protect the people." Luma's eyes softened. "That is why I trust you. And because of that trust, I will support your work. But remember, the Krylon may attack at any moment, and the city watches me as closely as they watch you. Every choice I make is weighed by duty, not desire." Rahil nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He had learned that Zarvan was not just a place of battle, but a place where leadership, loyalty, and strategy were constantly tested. Luma's position demanded careful decisions, and he realized that his role was not just technical, it was personal as well. He had to prove that humans could not only survive but also inspire unity and trust. As the day progressed, Rahil and Luma moved together through the city, inspecting energy nodes, testing shields, and coordinating with the defenders. Soldiers and civilians alike were impressed by Rahil's calm confidence and quick thinking. Luma noticed how quickly the people began to trust him, relying on his judgment and following his instructions without hesitation. During a break, Rahil and Luma stood on a balcony overlooking the northern platforms. The sun reflected off the energy shields, creating a brilliant display of light and color. Luma's expression was thoughtful. "Rahil," she said, "I must ask you something. You have proven yourself in battle and you have earned respect. But you inspire something else. I feel it, and I wonder if you feel it too." Rahil looked at her, slightly confused. "Feel what?" Luma hesitated, choosing her words carefully. "A connection. Between us. I have seen your courage, your mind, your calm in the face of danger, and I cannot help but wonder if you could be more than a companion in battle. If you could be someone I could trust, someone I could rely on in all matters, not just defense." Rahil's heart beat faster. He had sensed a connection, but hearing it expressed so openly surprised him. I respect you greatly, Commander. You are brave, intelligent, and honorable. I have never met anyone like you. If my presence matters to you, then I will stand by you in every way I can." Luma's silver eyes softened, a rare smile forming. "That is all I ask, Rahil. For now, we focus on the city, on its people. Feelings may grow in time, but duty comes first. The Krylon will not wait for our emotions. We must be ready." Rahil nodded, feeling a mixture of warmth and determination. He understood the balance Luma had to maintain between her responsibilities and her own desires. He would respect her position while offering support, and perhaps in time, the connection between them could grow stronger. As the afternoon progressed, reports arrived of Krylon movements near the outer platforms. Rahil quickly analyzed the data. "They are testing our defenses again," he said. "They are sending small attack units to probe weaknesses. We must respond quickly." Luma immediately organized the defenders. Follow Rahil's strategy. Protect the platforms and civilians. Do not engage the Krylon directly unless necessary. We trap them, disable them, and drive them back. Rahil moved to the energy conduits, adjusting nodes and activating shields. The small Krylon units approached, firing energy pulses. The city's adaptive shields redirected the attacks, guiding the drones into containment zones. Soldiers fired coordinated blasts, disabling the attackers. Rahil continued to adjust circuits, ensuring that no platform was vulnerable. Luma watched closely, impressed by his precision and focus. She had trained many soldiers and strategists, but Rahil's understanding of both human and alien systems made him exceptional. He was not just a technician. He was a leader, a problem solver, and someone who could inspire others to trust and follow him. After the skirmish ended, the city remained intact. The people of Varian cheered, and Rahil allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction. He had proven that humans could adapt, think quickly, and protect not only technology but lives as well. Luma approached him, her silver eyes thoughtful. "Rahil, I see something in you that is rare. Humans often act without patience or foresight, but you combine both. You inspire hope and confidence in ways few can. The city owes you more than gratitude." "I owe you my trust." Rahil felt a warmth in his chest. "I am honored, Commander. I do not seek reward or recognition. I only want to help, to ensure the people are safe." Luma studied him, then nodded. "That is why I admire you. But admiration is not enough. There are choices ahead that may test us, not just as allies, but as individuals. You must understand the risks, Rahil. Staying here is not only about survival. It is about commitment, trust, and responsibility." Rahil looked at her, understanding the depth of her words. He realized that being part of Zarvan was more than a mission. It was a test of character, a challenge to prove that humans could not only survive in alien worlds but also inspire unity and courage. As the day drew to a close, Luma and Rahil stood together on the highest balcony of the city. The twin suns set behind the distant cliffs, casting a warm glow over the floating platforms. Rahil felt a sense of purpose, a commitment not only to the city but to Luma and the bond that had formed between them. Tomorrow, Luma said quietly, we will continue strengthening the defenses, but we must also prepare for decisions that will affect not only the city but ourselves. Are you ready, Rahil? Rahil nodded firmly. I am ready. For the city, for its people, and for you. Whatever challenges come, I will stand by your side. Luma's expression softened and she placed a hand lightly on his arm. That is all I ask. Trust, courage, and loyalty are rare. You possess them all. Remember that as we face the days ahead. Rahil felt a deep sense of connection. He had come to Zarvan as a human engineer, a visitor in a world of alien culture and floating cities. But now he was part of something greater. He was a protector, a problem solver, and perhaps in time a partner to someone who saw not just his skills but his heart. The city below began to quiet as the last of the civilians returned to their homes. Energy nodes glowed softly, and the floating platforms hummed with power. Rahil and Luma remained on the balcony, silent for a moment, sharing the calm after the day's work. For Rahil, Zarvan had become more than a mission. It was a place of learning, trust, and connection. He had faced danger, proven his worth, and begun to understand a bond that crossed species. And for Luma, Rahil was no longer just a human engineer. He was a symbol of courage, intelligence, and hope. Together they were preparing not only to defend the city, but to face the challenges of their hearts and their duties. As night fell over the floating city, Rahil packed his tools and prepared for rest. He knew the Krylon threat was not gone, but he also knew that together with Luma they could face anything. And in that knowledge he found purpose, courage, and the first glimmer of something more than duty, a connection that promised hope for the future. The sky above Zarvan was alive with movement. Krylon ships, larger and more numerous than ever before, approached the floating city of Varian. The twin suns had barely risen, casting light on the trembling platforms as soldiers and civilians prepared for battle. Rahil stood on the highest platform, examining the energy conduits. Every shield, turret, and energy node had been reinforced and tested. The city was ready, or as ready as it could be. Luma appeared beside him, her silver eyes calm and focused. This is their final assault, she said. We cannot afford mistakes. Every strategy, every calculation, every action will determine the survival of this city and its people. Rahil nodded. Then we fight smart, not just hard. The city's defenses will hold if we coordinate carefully. We combine human and alien technology, and we turn their strength against them. Luma studied him for a moment, admiration and trust in her gaze. I have seen many leaders and strategists, Rahil, but none like you. Today we succeed because of your mind, your courage, and your calm in the face of danger. Follow my lead and we will protect everyone. Rahil took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility, yet also a quiet confidence. He had proven his worth before, and now, standing beside Luma, he knew they could face the Krylon together. The first wave of Krylon ships arrived, firing energy pulses that shook the floating platforms violently. Soldiers and civilians moved with precision, taking their positions. Rahil activated the energy shields and rerouted power through secondary conduits, creating barriers that adapted to the enemy's attacks. Sparks flew as the Krylon weapons collided with the shields, but the city held firm. Rahil, the eastern flank, Luma called. They are testing the new platforms. Rahil quickly analyzed the situation. We can create a diversion on the northern edge. If we redirect energy and fire coordinated blasts, we can trap them before they reach the civilians. Luma nodded, giving precise commands to the soldiers. The platforms hummed with energy as the city became a coordinated network of defense. Rahil climbed onto a higher platform, connecting nodes and activating circuits with precision. His mind worked faster than ever, anticipating attacks and adjusting energy flows in real time. The Krylon ships fell into the traps, guided by the city's adaptive shields. Energy nets captured smaller drones while turrets fired coordinated bursts, disabling enemy ships one by one. Soldiers cheered as the first wave was repelled, but Rahil did not pause. He moved to the next critical point, rerouting energy to weakened platforms and preparing for the larger ships that loomed on the horizon. Luma watched him closely, her heart filled with admiration. His calmness, intelligence, and courage inspired not only her but everyone in the city. She had trained countless soldiers and commanded numerous battles, yet Rahil's presence changed everything. He was more than a human engineer. He was a leader, a strategist, and a symbol of hope. A massive Krylon ship appeared, larger and faster than any before. Its energy pulses were stronger, more precise, and aimed directly at the city's core. Rahil quickly calculated its trajectory. Luma, the central platform, is its target. We must trap it or the city will fall. Luma's expression hardened. Then we trap it together. Soldiers, follow Rahil's commands. Protect the city. Rahil and Luma worked in perfect harmony. Rahil adjusted energy nodes, creating loops and channels to contain the massive ship. Luma coordinated soldiers to fire energy bursts at precise points, guiding the enemy into the trap. The platform shook under the Krylon attacks, but the city's adaptive shields held firm. The massive ship fell into the energy loop, caught and immobilized. Rahil directed the defenders to focus their fire on the trapped enemy. With coordinated blasts, the ship was disabled, crashing into the abyss below. Silence fell over the city for a moment, broken only by the hum of the shields. Luma turned to Rahil, her silver eyes filled with relief and admiration. "You have done it," she said softly. "The city is safe because of you. I have never seen such skill and courage combined. You are extraordinary." Rahil shook his head modestly. "I only did what needed to be done. The city, the people, they are what matter." Luma stepped closer, her voice quieter now. "No, Rahil, it is more than that. You inspired hope, trust, and courage in everyone. Humans are often underestimated, but today you proved that they can achieve greatness. I am grateful to have you here." Rahil felt a warmth in his chest. He had never expected such praise, especially from someone like Luma, whose calm strength and intelligence were respected by everyone. "Thank you, Commander. That means more than you know." Luma's expression softened further. "Rahil, I wish you were my husband. I have seen your heart, your mind, and your courage, and I realize that I want someone like you not just to protect the city, but to stand by my side in all matters." Rahil felt a surge of emotion. He had sensed a bond with Luma, but hearing her words made the connection real. "Luma, I respect you deeply and I am honored that you trust me. I will stand by your side in battle and beyond for as long as you need me." A small smile appeared on her face. "That is all I ask, Rahil. Today we celebrate survival. Tomorrow we rebuild and plan for the future. But tonight we honor courage, unity, and trust." The citizens of Varian began to gather on the platforms, cheering for their defenders. Soldiers stood proudly. Civilians waved, and energy shields glowed softly in the fading light. Rahil looked at the people, feeling a deep sense of purpose. He had come to Zarvan as a human engineer, a visitor in a strange world, but now he was part of something greater. He was a protector, a partner, and a symbol of hope. Luma joined him on the balcony overlooking the city. "The battle is over, Rahil. The Krylon have been defeated, at least for now. The city is safe, and its people are alive because of courage, intelligence, and cooperation." Rahil nodded. "Yes, and we could not have done it without each other. Your leadership and the people's trust made it possible. I only did my part." Luma placed a hand lightly on his arm. "You did more than your part. You showed that humans are capable of extraordinary courage and ingenuity. You changed my perspective and the city's. We owe you more than gratitude." Rahil felt a quiet pride. He had not come for recognition, but to help. Yet seeing the impact of his actions, the lives he had protected, and the trust he had earned, he realized that humans could inspire and lead in ways even aliens did not expect. As night fell over Varian, the floating city glowed with energy and life. Soldiers and civilians returned to their homes, repairing minor damage and reinforcing the platforms. Rahil and Luma remained on the balcony, sharing a quiet moment after the storm. Luma looked at him, her silver eyes reflecting the stars above. "Rahil, the future of Zarvan is uncertain. The Krylon may return, and challenges will continue. But I know that with you by my side, we can face anything. Your courage, your mind, and your heart make you more than a human engineer. You are a partner in every sense." Rahil smiled, feeling the weight of her words and the connection between them. "I will stay, Luma. Not just to protect the city, but to stand with you. Whatever comes, we face it together." Luma's smile grew, rare and genuine. "Then let us look to the future, Rahil. A future of trust, courage, and unity. Together we will protect this city and its people. And perhaps, in time, we will find something more in each other than just respect and partnership." The two of them stood side by side, watching the energy shields glow across the floating platforms. the city alive with hope. The Krylon threat had been defeated, but Zarvan's story was only beginning. Rahil and Luma had proven that humans and aliens could work together, combining courage, intelligence, and heart to overcome any obstacle. For Rahil, Zarvan had become more than a mission. It was a home, a place where his skills mattered and where trust and courage could create something extraordinary. And for Luma, Rahil was no longer just a human engineer. He was a symbol of hope, bravery, and the possibilities of connection beyond species. Together, they had faced the storm, protected the city, and discovered the power of cooperation, respect, and admiration. And as they looked toward the horizon, they knew that the future held new challenges, new victories, and perhaps a love born from trust and shared courage. The city rested under the glowing sky, safe and alive, and Rahil and Luma stood as proof that humanity, even in an alien world, could inspire greatness, courage, and hope.